So this lesson is on completing the square. It's another way that we can factor if you're not, if the other ways we've done so far have been a little difficult. So I'm going to excuse me, have you pause it, write down all these steps, and then we'll go through some problems. All right, so hopefully you've written down the steps. Let's go through how you would solve these. So this first one, C is negative 11, and your first step says make sure you add or subtract C to the other side. So I'm going to add 11 to both sides. So what I'm really working with is x squared plus 10x equals 11, because 0 plus 11 is 11. Next, it says take half of B and square it. So this is your B. B is 10. Half of 10 is 5, right? Half of 10 is 5. And then you want to square it. 5 squared is 25. So we are going to make this 25 become your C. So watch what I do. I have x squared plus 10x. This 25 is now my C. But remember, if you add 25 to one side, you also have to add 25 to the other side. Okay, so let me go through that one more time what I did. I took B, 10, divided it by 2, got 5. 5 squared is 25. So that's how I figured out what I'm going to add to both sides. I'm going to add 25 to both sides. Okay, now factor the trinomial. Fun way, it'll always be half of B. Half of B is 5. So it'll be x plus 5 squared. That's how I factor that. Over on the right-hand side, we want to do 11 plus 25. 11 plus 25 is 36. Okay? Then we're going to square root both sides. Well, if I take the square root of this side, those just cancel, and I have x plus 5. If I take the square root of this side, it's going to be 6. The square root of 36 is 6. And it could be a positive or a negative 6. It could be a positive or a negative 6. Now we just need to solve for x. I want to get x by itself. So watch how I'm going to do this. I'm going to set x plus 5 equal to positive 6. And I'm going to set x plus 5 equal to negative 6. So when I solve this, subtract 5, I get x equals 1. When I solve this, subtract 5, I get x equals negative 11. So those are your two answers, 1 and negative 11. Let's do another one. All right, first step. We're going to move your C to the other side. So I'm going to do minus 22 on both sides. So I have x squared plus 8x equals negative 22. Okay, second step. Take half of B, so half of 8 is 4. Square it. 4 squared is 16. We're going to add that to both sides. So x squared plus 8x plus 16. And if I add it to one side, I have to add it to the other side. I'm going to do plus 16 on both sides. Okay? The square root, or take the square root is what's, well, let me go ahead and combine. Half of 8 is 4, so that's what would go in this half. On the right side, we want to combine. Negative 22 plus 16 is negative 6. Okay? Next step, take the square root of both sides. Those cancel, so I have x plus 4. Now look at this. Can you take the square root of a negative? No, you cannot. So this one is no solution, because we cannot take the square root of a negative. Let's do another one. First step, I'm going to move my C to the other side. So I have x squared plus 2x equals 8. Then we're going to take our B. Half of 2 is 1. 1 squared is 1. So I'm going to add 1 here and add 1 here. I'm going to factor the left side. Half of 2 is 1. And 8 plus 1 is 9. I'm going to take the square root of both sides. So those cancel. So I have x plus 1. The square root of 9 is 3. It could be a positive or a negative 3. So I'm going to set up two equations. I'm going to have x plus 1 equals 3. And I'm I'm going to have x plus 1 equals negative 3. And I want to solve both of them. So I subtract 1 and get 2. I subtract 1 and get negative 4. So my answers are 2 and negative 4. Let's do another one. Move my c to the other side. So I have x squared plus 6x equals 23. Then we take half of b. Half of 6 is 3. We want to square it, and that gives me 9. So I have x squared plus 6x. I'm going to add 9 to both sides. Okay. Factor the left side. That's going to be an x plus 3 squared. Half of 6 is 3. On the right side, 23 plus 9 is 32. Take the square root of both sides. Those cancel, so I have x plus 3. Square root of 32 is not a pretty number, so I'm just going to leave it as the square root of 32. And remember, it could be a plus or a minus. Now I'm going to move my 3 to the other side by subtracting it. So the way these answers are going to work, if you don't get a perfect square, is you're going to write negative 3 plus or minus, because it could be a positive or a negative, and the square root of 32. So that's my answer for that one. Let's do another one. Start by moving your 59. So I do plus 59. So I have v squared plus 6v equals 59. I want to take half of b. So that's going to be 3. I'm going to square it, and that gives me 9. So I have v squared plus 6v plus 9 equals 59 plus 9. Factor this side. This is going to be a v plus 3 squared. 59 plus 9 is 68. 68, sorry. Take the square root of both sides. So I have v plus 3. Again, this could be a positive or negative square root of 68. I don't know. And then to move my 3 over, I would subtract it. So this answer would be negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 68. So if you will go try the worksheet and let me know if you need help.